skies, highs expected in the upper 50s. For the daytime hours in the IE area, there'll be sunny skies, highs in the middle 60s. And for the afternoon hours in the Coachella Valley, sunny skies in abundance, highs in the upper 60s. I'm forecaster Jimmy O'Neill for Smart Talk 1490 KMET.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez. We got Jesse Sanchez over there in the wings, just checking out some news stories and getting ready for the weekend ahead. I will say, if you got somewhere to go, that's great. This evening, Amy May is going to be performing. We've had her on the show. Great musical artist. And she's going to be performing live here in LA. All I can say right now is I highly recommend that you check it out. It's going to be at the Hotel Cafe later this evening. So if you can come out, that would be great. Help support. I follow her on Instagram, Amy May Music. You can follow her as well. She's done a lot of serenades on the weekend, usually on I believe a Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember. And usually at 1 o'clock, and it's always one of those things where it's like, sometimes when you got to get safe and you're not with other friends or family members, sometimes you just want to have like a little live concert, and she does it very well. She does it all live. It's not recorded, and she plays the guitar, and very talented artist. So do support Amy. Another fan of Amy is Jesse Sanchez. Jesse, what's going on over there?
Oh yeah, I love Amy. She has an amazing voice.
Yeah, she's great. She's wonderful. So in the world, a lot of interesting things happening, right? And if you're tuning in and you have information on something that we may have missed, please do find us. I'm going ahead and checking you guys out on Facebook Live right now, which is available right there. And you can always stream with us on Twitter as well. Just find me, Aaron M. Sanchez. Find Jesse at I am Jesse Sanchez. KMET Radios on Twitter as well. And then on Facebook, KMET 1490 AM is always the place where you can go. Alexa's available. All you have to say is, Alexa, I want to listen to KMET 1490 AM. And if we ever go off air on the video side, you'll hear the audio side usually more than not. So that's always a good thing. And if you're in an area that we haven't heard about before, then tell us where you're tuning in from and we'll give you a shout out. Stephanie Reed says, hello, happy editing this glorious snowy cold for this awesomeness busy day ahead today. Some would say we're done with the cold, man. She says, going out to take some snowy photos with my camera. That's good. That's how you do it. Mark Blevin says, hello, a little nice bit of a coffee emoji. What are you drinking in this morning's way? Let us know. All right, Jesse, I know you are ready for the weekend. What movie are you going to watch this weekend, Jesse?
Yes. I was recently told that it's coming out. It's coming out. So Moonfall. Moonfall is coming out this Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for it. So like I said, I am scared of natural disaster movies. So as I was watching the trailer again, I was like, okay, I noticed something weird. I was like, it might have something to do with aliens, so I'm a little bit better now.
Mm-hmm.
But still, the moon coming down to come down to Earth to say hello. But yeah, I don't know.
Hello,
It,
Earth. I'm going to crash into you. Um,
it's just horrified, but that's my movie for the weekend. That's what I'm planning to watch.
well, I think it's weird that this comes out and then we got the news that that rocket is going to crash into the moon, right? Like in March, I think, which we're like, why is this happening all now? Man, all the weird comes out now. It's so weird, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it as well. I'll probably see it either, I might see it at the IMAX or I might see it at the drive-in. I don't know, it just depends. But yeah, pretty good, pretty good. A lot of people wondering what's going on in the world, and I will say, there are things that are, I don't know how to say it. Well, let me put it this way. We're done with right? But do you think is done with us?
That's gonna be a hard pass and no.
Yeah. So according to this, you know how we were talking about 2 recently?
Yeah, okay.
Well, now there's 4. So that are being tracked by the World Health Organization of I know. I'm like, what is going on? According to this, 2 has been now discovered, but 2 more, including 3. Yep, here it is. The original now called BA1, has been joined by BA11, BA2, and BA3. Oh, whoa. Okay, whoa. Total of 4. I don't know why they're doing BA.1, BA.1.1, BA.2, and BA.3, unless one went under the gun. Okay, it says all of them are being monitored by the World Health Organization under the umbrella of according to the World Health Organization's most recent epidemiological update, which was released yesterday. 2 is so far the most concerning. Okay, they're still tracking these. Doesn't mean none of them are going to. How do I say this? Okay, let's put it this way. There's Delta, and then there's Delta Plus, right? Now remember, these kind of like Alpha, Beta, Gamma, all these kind of have been adopted to kind of say, okay, instead of coronavirus A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, we're basically in the area of, I don't know, well, one of those, if they would have done it. But it would have made more sense to do it more like that than the way they're doing it, because people get confused with coronavirus. So when Lambda came out, for example, you don't hear much about Lambda, right, Jesse? But you know a lot about Lambda, right?
Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, I haven't really heard much about Lambda. It's always just been and Delta that's been in the news recently.
Yeah, and Lambda sounds like a little lamb, right? It sounds like, so, oh, they're so cute, right? Lambda, no, you don't want it. So my point is this, okay? There's Delta, and then there's Delta Plus. Nobody hears about Delta Plus as of late. But some people that die significantly they go, oh, you have Delta, but they don't tell you you have the Delta Plus. Delta Plus is very, very significant, okay? I'm just going to say that. I don't want to go into the science of it all. But 1, 2, 3, and 4, what I would call it, are going to be really bad. Okay, 1 is already bad. 2 is coming. 3 is coming probably the next 3 weeks, and 4 is coming probably the next 4 to 6 weeks. Okay, the fact that they're tracking these now is good, because we know we can hopefully get ahead of it in the next, I don't know, 4 to 6 months. I hope 3 to 4 months, but I think it's too soon to say that. The Pfizer one that's coming out takes care of but that's before they started to do like what they call variants of these. Okay, so you have to think like that. Delta has Delta and Delta Plus. Delta Plus is technically a variant, although it's more on the worst case scenario. It's kind of what they said all of a sudden, but they didn't really make the science out of it. But if you look Delta Plus is worse than Delta. Okay, so think of it like this. These are worse than So if you had and you got well from it, they're worse because they're very different. If they could, labeling them different than would probably make more sense, if that makes any sense. But they're kind of grouping them up in a weird way that I think people are going to be, So hopefully we're helping you guys make sense of that so that you understand what's coming next. Because which has already been tracked from France, is already circling the world, and that one's even worse than these. So I guess my point is this. Be safe, be aware, and be, as much as possible, just allowing life to live itself, okay? And then enjoy the rest, all right? That's the only thing I can say. I'm not going to go on the tirade of, wash up, rinse your hands, wear, maybe gloves in certain environments, like, the bus, where everybody's all, doing all that. You don't know what anybody has at this point, is my point. Okay, so just be aware, and I don't want to be that person that's like, hey, coronavirus, I'm not going to bring down the house with that story, but I do want you to be aware that this is just now being spoken about, okay, in the news. So it's better to be aware ahead of it before other people go, it's not that bad. Because I've been seeing some news agencies and some reporters go, Well, are we, with all of us getting sick, aren't we creating an immune system already with that? So we already have it. Why are we going to get the Pfizer one? And I'm like, oh my God, you guys are dumb. So with this new info, how do I say it? At least we have good scientists that are discovering this, because I hope and really hope that a lot of the, how do I say it? Okay, we talked about like Joe Rogan and being responsible, right? I don't know what he says on his show. I really don't. But I get conspiracy theories. I get ones like that go, oh, they're trying to control you and it's all just a big, whatever. But one thing affects the other. When you've had to bury friends that have had coronavirus, and or you see them getting sick, or you see it progressively getting worse, or you see them, vomiting blood, or you see them, all these things, it's very, very real. You can't shake it, okay? You can't shake it. So you go, okay, this is some would call it an epidemic. They're calling it a pandemic, but an epidemic is exactly what it is, okay? And this is world over, okay? Now, there's certain areas that have stamped it out as much as possible. But when you bring in people from other areas that have this, the infection rates go up. Now, one has been like all of a sudden within the last 3 months, right? But we talked about it before it became a thing. That's what Jesse and I do. We do the research, we know things, and then we just share it with the rest of you. 3 is going to be really bad, guaranteed. 4 is something that's going to be more bad on other shores, not necessarily in the U.S., because I think we're ahead of 4. That's the good news. But 3 is going to be so bad, it's going to be one of those where the average person who got coronavirus, like last year or the year before, are going to be getting it, and they're going to think they're going to be fine, and all of a sudden they're going to have to be going to the hospital, if they even get that far. There's so many reports of ones that I know that have said, no, I can muscle it, or, oh, I don't need the hospital, or, oh, I'll be better eventually. It's just a really bad time I'm having. Or you think, man, I don't want to get intubated. Because I'm not going to lie, I'm right there with, I don't want to get intubated, Jesse. I'm telling you right now. I'm like, just take me peacefully in my sleep. That's the way I want to go. That's me. I'm not saying that's the way to be, but when it gets to that and you go, well, you really need to breathe, okay? Which means you're going to need something, okay? I'm the first one to say I don't want that, okay? I'm not going to lie. If I were to go, I'm just saying this now ahead of time, I'd want to go in my sleep. Okay, I'm just saying that right now. But I don't want to suffer in between, okay? And a lot of people are going to be suffering with 3 and eventually 4 in other C's. Okay, so just be aware of it. Be ahead of it. Take precautions. Do the things that you've been doing if you're responsible. Some people wear gloves. I don't wear gloves personally, but I don't go into areas where I necessarily need that. But if you're on the transit system, you're taking a bus, you're taking the Metrolink, you're taking a train. There's a lot of steel in those trains, and coronavirus loves steel. As far as metal, if somebody wipes some mucus on it and then you touch it, you're gonna get it. So that's probably the area that I say wear gloves. I have gloves. My mom has given me gloves sometimes to wear, but I go, Mom, I'm in my vehicle. Do not worry about it. But sometimes I do take some ahead of time. Now, if you're going to go to the hospital, take precautions there, because a lot more people are getting sick. And with the CDC's recommendation of, 5 days versus the normal 14 quarantine time, that's especially why 3 is going to get really bad for us, okay? So, having said that, let me do say this, okay? There are weird things in the world of science, Jesse, and it has nothing to do with coronavirus. Question of the day is this. If your stomach were hurting, would you go to the hospital, Jesse?
That's the big dilemma. Since I'm a dude, no. You would think so, but my stomach's hurt plenty of times, and I just relax for a bit, and it usually goes away. But usually, if you have like consistent pain, you would want to go. So yeah, most definitely.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. I will say this: if you have abnormal bleeding, and abdominal pain, would you go then?
Well, yeah, usually at the first sign of blood, I'm gonna be like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. But, yeah, no, you would want to go if you see blood, most definitely.
I know I've gone and I've seen blood. I've seen blood several times. I'm like, what the heck is that? Okay.
Oh my God, I'm horrified to where you're going with this right now.
Well, I'm just saying, sometimes you gotta kind of just muscle it and go, you know what? I'm gonna go and get this checked out. Better get checked out than not. Okay. So this happened, and it was thankfully shared publicly. It's already been seen 1.7 million times, got 300,000 likes. Sandwich bread, with a WITCH, sandwich bread, mother, shared this on her story. And we'll talk about that next here on the morning show when we get back. It is one for the weird zone. We'll be back right after this.
KMET 1490 presents Cal State San Bernardino basketball. This Thursday night, February 3rd at 7:30, the Coyotes meet Stanislaus State in a CCAA conference game. Live from Warrior Arena in Turlock. I'm Mitch McClellan. Join me as the Coyotes meet the Warriors. Cal State San Bernardino basketball broadcasts are brought to you by Dignity Health, Hatfield Buick GMC, Raising Cane's, Penny Law, and the Hyatt Place Hotel, Ontario Mills. That's Cal State San Bernardino basketball action live from Turlock this Thursday night at 7:30 on your exclusive radio home for Coyote basketball, KMET AM 1490.
Take KMET 1490 AM with you everywhere you go by downloading our free smartphone apps found on the KMET website, KMET1490am.com. You can also go to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store on your phone to download the free app. Now you can listen live or play any of your favorite programmers' podcasts using your smartphone. Go to KMET1490am.com and download your free phone app today.
Are you a self-published author that maybe underestimated the challenges of marketing your own book? I'm Suzanne Lynn, and we help authors sell more books through video interviews and radio advertising. You see, a professional video interview is really an author's secret weapon for marketing because it makes an emotional connection with your reader that can be posted to social media, YouTube, your book's landing page and website, your Amazon author page, and even sent to media to request interviews. We guarantee that video interview will be viewed by a minimum of 3,000 people in your target audience. And let's face it, no one can sell your book better than you speaking about it yourself. Plus, we can run commercials on our nationwide network of radio stations that targets your specific reading audience. Find out more at GiveMyBookWings.com. That's GiveMyBookWings.com. Again, GiveMyBookWings.com.
The Fat Greek in Yucaipa, where you can get authentic, delicious, true Greek food. Authentic gyros, Greek salads, pitas, falafel, hamburgers, burritos, and oh yes, baklava. The Fat Greek has a large selection of wines, ice-cold domestic, and imported Greek beers. Come on down to the Fat Greek located on Yucaipa Boulevard in the city of Yucaipa. Open 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week. The Fat Greek has delivery, drive-through, sit-down, and a catering service. So bring in a family or give Nicholas and Christopher a call at 909-797-6018. Eat Greek, live long. Remember, if you want authentic Greek food, it's the Fat Greek in Yucaipa.
Back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. Jesse Sanchez over there getting ready for the weekend. And like I said, go check out Amy May music on social media. You'll appreciate it. She has I will always say, an angel voice. That's probably the best way I could say it. I love to hear her. I remember discovering her in Venice on the, you know how like they have the promenade area and then the artists perform live outside. She had her set up there and she was selling her CDs, and I bought her CD and I listened and I said I'm a fan. But when you hear her perform live, there's just something just honestly magical about it when she sings. So can't wait to see her live, and again, be careful out there. Okay, so we teased it a bit before we went to break, and some of you are tuning in going, what is going on with this story? Rosalie tuning in, Mark Blevins tuning in, Sun Prince tuning in, George Zamora tuning in, Kajusha Freetag is tuning in. Thank you. When you get abnormal bleeding and abdominal pain, it is good to go to the doctor. That is what happened with mom known as Sandwich Bread. She's on TikTok. You can follow her. And she shared this story with the world. And there's a lot of weird stories, okay, out there. But when you confirm it quite realistically, it's an interesting story for sure. Her doctor suggested that they perform an ultrasound. Now, for those that, of course, have an ultrasound really is nothing to sneeze at. That means, okay, we need to figure something out, right? But it means, oh no, what's going to go on next, right? So this lady, and again, these are snapshots of her TikTok video, right? Probably you'll understand the right face pretty soon. So your doctor, suggests that you get an ultrasound. You get a little nervous. That's what she was pretty much feeling, right? She was either pregnant or had cancer. That was what her thought was, okay? Yet, thankfully, in a weird way, when this probably suddenly made her go, okay, it's not that bad. But then it's like, wait, what? For the past 2 years, her body had been growing teeth and hair inside her uterus. You okay there, Jesse?
Oh my God. Okay.
Now, she was informed. Go ahead.
So there are a few times that you tell a story and you literally take my breath away.
Because you're like, where are you going with this?
God, I hope I didn't bite back, but continue.
So she was informed it was a dermoid cyst, which is a growth of normal tissue enclosed in a pocket of cells. Occasionally, this growth can go on to develop, get this is interesting for scientists everywhere, because this is good to know, to develop bone, nerves, skin, sweat glands, or in her case, teeth and hair. You're thinking of a horror movie, huh? Mixed with a little bit of science?
I'm recalling back to a movie that I watched a few years back called Teeth.
Oh God.
Can you guess where the teeth were? But yeah, it was about a young girl who had a deformity and she had teeth in her nether regions.
Got it. You know what? I'm good. I'm good with that. I don't need to know that. So this young lady, all right, or young mom, I'll call her young mom, obviously. She was informed about this. Her body has been working overtime on the tissue, developing it into 2 dermoid cysts, one chicken egg size and one the size of a pea. And she said, if you want to go follow her on her TikTok, you'll see it. She says, I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. Viewer discretion advised. That's the right side of the face. Her doctor explained that when her son was still in utero, traces of fetal tissue separated from the developing fetus, which went on to become a dermoid cyst. So for 2 years now, she said, I've had particles of my son growing in my uterus. That's what she said in the camera. She then issued a viewer discretion to anyone watching her video and warned she would be putting up a photo of a dermoid cyst, which seemed to horrify many TikTokers. She says, let's see, one user said, you advised discretion for the photo, and I thought I understood, but let me tell you, I was not ready for that photo, so... That was somebody said. So when she says viewer discretion, beware. Just have a good stomach. One viewer wrote, "This was the most disturbing TikTok I've ever seen." Another commented, "Whoa, that's wild. I've never even heard of this. You learn something new every day." Another one says, "I will never be able to forget this. I should have looked away." Okay, so if you got a squeamish stomach, don't look. But I know Jesse's getting ready to look pretty soon. Did you see it? You saw it? Did you see it?
Oh, another curiosity kills the cat. Okay, so there are only so many images that you wish you can unsee. Oh my God, I wish the Men in Black device was real. Oh my God.
I'm so sorry, man. I warned you.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. I was warned so many times. But when you tell someone don't look at this, you're gonna look at it.
You're one of those, huh?
So all I have to say is I'm glad I am not a doctor because I can guarantee the moment I cut somebody open, I'm gonna vomit. So that would probably be really bad.
Yeah, it's not a good thing for you. It's just not. Some people have that. I don't. I'm not one of them. I don't mind sharing that. It says, while many viewers were shocked or grossed out by the video, many are thanking her for advocating for women's health and sharing her experience with the world. Now the mom is encouraging everyone to seek medical attention if you're experiencing unusual symptoms and to self-advocate when you're at the doctor's office. You know, she is so right. I've been there with a friend who bled. They sent her home. She bled more. She said, this is not normal. I went with her, and she had imagine a grapefruit growing in her belly. But, you know, it was actually, and it was good that she got it removed because basically she was able to have a kid after that. But she was unable to have a kid the entire time because it was growing in her uterus. Okay, when I say belly, I kind of mislabeled that. But it is important when you see bleeding like this, go to your doctor. They took an ultrasound and they figured it out eventually. Then they're like, you're going to have to get surgery for this. And then they scheduled it 3 weeks later. They removed it and they says, well, the good news is you're going to have a baby now. And literally, I want to say 3 years, actually, maybe a year and a half later, she got pregnant. But she never thought she could get pregnant because she kept losing her pregnancy. So she's like, nah. And then she ended up going a different route with her son, which she had to have a surrogate. So her baby, she was able to have naturally. I was there for the birth, and I will say, if that is a story in a tandem with this, ladies, get your uterus checked out. Okay, do that, especially if you have abnormal bleeding. The teeth part and the hair growing in there, I don't know about that. But it says here, let's see. As for strange sis, she's named them Seymour and Archibald Winklet. And she'll be scheduling the removal in the coming months. See, you got to get them removed, man. You got to get them removed. Don't allow them to continue growing there, Jesse.
I was gonna be like, oh my god, what did she name these things? And she did.
She did, man. She's one of those. You know what? And they can say, hey, here you go. I would put that, like, what was that show? Ripley's Believe It or Not. Remember that show? This is a Ripley's Believe It or Not, man. Now, I will say this. The science of it is this, man. If you could grow teeth and hair in a laboratory separate from a baby, that's pretty good because, you know, these are natural teeth, right? I mean, I don't know if these are her teeth. I don't know if these are the baby's teeth. I don't know how that goes, but that's how body tissue forms. So if you were a good scientist, you'd be like, can I pay you a certain amount of money just to, you know, kind of research this? Because then you could grow things in a lab to be able to replace teeth naturally, right? You just have to have the building blocks. That's how life forms, you know? I mean, we think of a human as normal, but, you know, tissue and bone, and I didn't know, you know, let me go back to this, because it's explained this way, like, oh, it just happens. I didn't know, personally, that bone could grow in this way. Does that make sense? So I'm almost like, okay, good to know. You know, there's other things, you know, robots kind of replace things, but I would like a little bit of this done for me. You know what I mean? So here it is. Dermoid cyst, which is a growth of normal tissue enclosed in a pocket of cells, can go to develop bone, nerves, skin, sweat glands. Okay. Now, in her case, it was teeth and hair. And of course, you don't want that in your uterus. Any woman knows that. But get it checked out. Okay, so that's the PSA of the day. Weird science, weird news, but you feel educated, don't you, Jesse?
Honestly, as much as horrifying as it is, you'd be surprised how common it is. But a lot of people don't talk about these things.
No, they don't. I'm glad she did.
So it like a lot of people will probably feel more normal about this because you know what what sounds like weird to us, you know, these things are probably normal and common. Yeah. We just don't hear about it.
No. So,
but yeah, science,
gotta love it. All right, people, we're gonna take a quick little break. We'll be back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Hello, I'm Dr. Fujan Zain. I'm a psychotherapist and a life coach for the past 30 years, and I'm the originator of the Awareness Integration Therapy. I'd love to be able to support you in any matters of life that shows up for you that you need support. So call me at 818-648-2140. I am available to do online therapy or coaching, anyone who's around the world. And you can also join me in my office in San Clemente, California, if you like to come to the office. So call me at 818-648-2140 or go to fujan.com. I look forward to hearing from you and having the opportunity to support you in things that are in your life and you just want to excel and create an amazing life for yourself and everyone around you.
Standard time is here. That means shorter days and cooler nights that make you want to stay inside. Don't get caught in the cold. Franklin Mechanical Systems can do a preventative maintenance check on your heating unit to get it working right. For cleaning, repair, or a new installation, call them for a free estimate. Franklin Mechanical Systems, for all your residential and commercial heating and air conditioning needs. Call their Beaumont office at 951-845-1000. That's 951-845-1000 and stay warm today.
Do you need a car? Been shopping only to be turned down because of bad credit, low credit, no credit, bankruptcy, or divorce? Guess what? Today's your lucky day, because now you can buy a car, truck, or SUV, just about any vehicle. It's true. Bad credit doesn't matter. No credit doesn't matter. Bankruptcy or divorce, it just doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, your job is your ticket to your new vehicle. We're Auto Credit Express, and we've helped thousands of people just like you. Antonio H. told us, great company, got me connected, and the day I went in, I drove off in the car I wanted. 100% worth your time. Need a car? Get started now and drive off as early as today. Just go to 12ignoremyscore.com right now. That's www.12ignoremyscore.com. Auto financing the easy way. 12ignoremyscore.com. Get started today. Auto financing the easy way.
Ruth didn't know she was leaving for good. Who could save them? In To Love, Honor, and Betray, Ruth Tunnicliffe writes a true tale, a sincere letter to herself and to her adult children. How does a submissive move to survivor, then thriver, all the way to inspiring peaceful warrior, healing from deep pain in land and self-love? To Love, Honor, and Betray by Ruth Tunnicliffe, living a purpose-filled life. Amazon Worldwide, Barnes & Noble.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM, and we got a lot of great things going on in the world, including weird news, but we learn through weird news, we learn new science, right? So I think that's the good news of the day. Jesse, you got a story over there. What's going on over there?
Do you remember that kid that was cyber stalking Elon Musk and everywhere he goes?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, to tease that in the right way, so those that are just tuning in for the first time, he had that app, right, which traced not just Elon Musk, but other millionaires, right, with their jet schedules, because that stuff is kind of public information. So it's like, hey, if you want to see where Elon Musk is going, yes. So go ahead with the rest of the story.
Right. So the teen who went viral for tracking Elon Musk's private jet on Twitter has gotten a job offer out of that pursuit. Jack Sweeney, 19, good job, dude, has been offered work with the Orlando, Florida private charter flight company Stratos Jet Charters. Dang, I wonder how that's flying around in jets. That's pretty cool. So he was all excited. So apparently they're a UCF alumni, so he's pretty excited about that. Stratos president and CEO Joel Thomas told the Post company offered Sweeney work on its development team after seeing his creativity in starting the Twitter account. Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. Just the fact that he turned this little side thing into an actual job offer.
Yeah.
Way to go, kid. Way to go.
Yeah, I'm all for that. I always say, man. Well, go ahead and say what you were going to say. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say just you turn a tracking program or whatever he did and just this is how you go out of the box to get like job offers. This is how you do it.
Yeah, and you know what? I think if anything, how do I say this? I don't even think he was going for the job offer to begin with, right? He was just doing something because it came to him. He applied it. He thought, okay, building an app or anything can actually be done with a little bit of tools of the trade by going like, have you seen those classes where they like do online learning and then you do like maybe, I don't know, a weekend of just knowing simple code, knowing simple things, and then saying, okay, let me apply it. He probably worked on it like 3 to 4 months. And then he's just like, okay, cool, and it wasn't something he was charging for, I believe, but the fact that it got to Elon Musk, as big as he is, it's kind of like, you know what? That's what I would have done. Elon should have like offered him like a job at SpaceX, because I think this is the kid that kind of figures out stuff, and you just like kind of invite him in, show him around, and then see how his brain works by just asking him some questions, and then kind of get his brain to go next level by just being like, hey, what if you applied this to, I don't know, the space shuttle? You know what I mean? For us to be able to, allow people to understand where it is in space. You know what I mean? There's a lot of cool ways to spin it because this kid thinks outside of the box, like you say, and I say put that mind to save the earth. You know what I mean? Put that mind to something that makes sense. And I'm glad he got a job offer. He needs one, right? So I hope he keeps reapplying it, because even though it was seen kind of as a stunt, it was one where a kid just goes, I think I could do it. Why not? And then he didn't mean any harm from it. He's like, the information's there. Let me just kind of compartmentalize it in a way that makes sense for others to be like, because I'm sure he enjoys just doing it. I don't think he meant any harm, you know what I mean? And then him kind of negotiating for like, he's like, can you just remove it for 5,000? He's like, what about 50,000? You know what I mean? Like, hey, he's got good negotiation skills. I say good job, right? Better than most presidents, who do not know how to negotiate. So good job. And I agree with you, Jesse. That's a good story. That went really good, I think, for this kid. And I could see Tesla going, yeah, I should have probably made him a job offer. There's still time. But
right? There's still plenty of time. And although in Elon's, why'd I call him Elon, but like in his case, I kind of see where he would be, where it's just like freaky that some person's able to track him like that. But all the information's out there in public space, so he's just...
Well, Elon's journey is interesting. If you think about it, and I know a lot of people go, Elon, because a lot of people don't do the tracking of where he came from, right? All they know is this guy became basically a billionaire overnight, right? But he was mainly known for PayPal. And he did something smart with PayPal. You didn't know that? Yeah, his full name is Elon Reeve Musk. Okay, he started PayPal. Okay, granted he did it with other people, obviously, but PayPal is where he made his money. Okay, now PayPal is an app, right? And I remember using PayPal very early on, and I'm like, this is simple. Send money virtually or digitally, whatever you want to call it. Send it and do so with PayPal, right? Now people know Venmo. That's become kind of the big buzzword among 30-year-olds and under, but Venmo is PayPal. It's just kind of reformed so that you could send it easily. Do you get it now, Jesse? So how do you go from creating basically an app-like thing of PayPal to go all of a sudden to Tesla, right, which are the vehicles, which are awesome, to all of a sudden go to SpaceX? That journey is a very interesting journey when you go, oh, so this kid is kind of like a fun Elon, right? I'm going to call him Elon Reeve, man. I love that middle name. But Elon is very, very intelligent. He's very smart. He's very educated. He went the way I wish Amazon went, right? Because Amazon started literally in what, Jesse?
Amazon, didn't they used to sell books? That's how they started, right?
No. Amazon, you're thinking of Borders. Amazon is okay, let me help you out. Amazon started in a garage, basically.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Programmer. Figured out affiliate marketing. Figured out how to be the middle guy to help people sell things online, right? So Amazon, Bezos, right, which is the founder of that, Jeff Bezos, I think is his name, reinvest, never. He just grows Amazon. But if he invested his money the way Elon did and found other key players to be able to support his company, he would go next level as well. But he's all more for himself than Elon. Elon has a fear of the future. And if you see him on YouTube, he'll talk about it. I just researched him recently on a video that he was saying. He's like, people, we're doing ourselves in. And I've said this in past broadcasts. Elon knows going to Mars is important because you always have to have a backup plan. If there were a big asteroid to hit this Earth, what would be the backup plan for humanity? Now, if you think, go ahead, Jesse.
Yeah, no, this is explained in the movie Don't Look Up. So, yeah.
Yes, you always have to have a backup plan, okay? Now, the good thing is he's ahead of it, I think. The other good thing is he is a brilliant mind. And if he were to die this day, people would give him the respect he deserves. People sometimes talk about SpaceX in a weird way, including myself. And what I mean by that is this. When you get billionaires and millionaires going up and then coming back down, it's like, okay. But it gets the word out about SpaceX. But what you don't understand is why he's on this trajectory. He's on this trajectory. Take the movie you don't want to watch, but you're going to watch, Moonfall. Okay? And let's just take the sci-fi out of it. What is the Earth going to do if a orbit suddenly changes or gravitational pull changes or all of a sudden something crashes into another something, right? What are you going to do? Elon already has figured that out. He knows this Earth is suffering. He knows this Earth is bad. He knows this Earth is breaking apart. What do you do next? You have to have a program ahead of time to be able to get rockets up and out, reuse those rockets, because create a new rocket every single time a space shuttle goes up is expensive because you don't have the building blocks. So he will always be forever known as the guy that made the rocket go up, come back down, land, and then reuse, refill, and refuel. 100%. Because you could refuel in outer space. Now, if he had a trajectory of the outside, probably like, I don't know, short of Mars, like in between, and you had a fuel up station, you could fuel up and then get on to where you got to go. You create those every step of the way, make sure they get stocked with supplies, so you just go, come back, go, come back, go, come back. If you watch the Martian movie, where they have to go all the way, and then they go all the way back, it takes them like, I think, a year and a half to go from one place to another based on the speed that they're doing now, because we don't do light travel, obviously. But if you put a little halfway station, you can go and come back easily. You can mine for gold, you can mine for silver, you can mine for all precious metals. You can mine for those to help supplement the cost of going to Mars or any other planet for that matter. I wouldn't go to Mars personally. I would start looking at Saturn. People don't consider Saturn at all. I would consider Saturn because I don't know why you want to go closer to the sun personally. That's just me. But if you put a halfway point, you could do that. Now, if you think of Elon as PayPal and you go, how did he go from PayPal to Tesla to space? You go, that's a brilliant mind. You might dummy it down every now and then because you saw him smoking weed a little bit. But even then, he has a brilliant mind. He might do some weird things in between. But what is Jeff doing? Jeff is doing just nothing with the money that he has made a fortune on. That guy's a billionaire. But has he reinvested on Earth right now? Has he done anything for Earth to reinvest that? Elon's the only one that's reinvested for humanity. And no matter what people think about him, and he has some, stories about, he's very focused. Then he's so focused, he's a workaholic. Then he's so focused that he needs to chill, and then he has to chill to come back. But at the end of the day, he knows future in a way that we don't. And when we understand that, he understands, hey, we're not alone in the universe. Even a person who believes in angels, right, has to understand, if angels exist, that's a form of another entity, right, in the invisible realm. But in the physical realm that we live in, well, there's things we just don't understand, right? So even a faith person can believe, wait a minute, what are angels if they were all physical? Winged creatures, right, that are half man, half wings? Others would say that's an alien, right? So, non-human. How do you have wings, right? But that's in the invisible realm, right? In the physical realm, we have species, and we're a form of species known as Homo sapiens, right? Or human, right? So I guess my point is this. I value more each and every day Elon when he makes sense. And when he makes sense, things work for good. Does he want to be tracked on his jet? No, nobody does as a billionaire. But I think he and this kid need to get together and him educate him, because if he remembers, this is like a young version of him. If that does that make sense, kind of, sort of?
No, I can see that. He might see something in himself or something like that along the ways.
Yeah. Mark Blevin says, Jeff Bezos' laugh used to be my ringtone. Yeah. I just feel Jeff is kind of asleep at the wheel. And I say this hoping he wakes up, okay? I get the relationship between him and Lauren. I get that, Not sure I agree with it, but whatever. My point is this. He has so much money. What's he doing with it to help humanity, okay? I'm just going to say that. It's good to have money. You can't spend it all. You can reinvest it in, Amazon, thank God, right? And Amazon's grown to be, a lot. I mean, it's taken out Borders, right? Which Borders started as just everything, right? Which I wish Borders would come back, man. I used to love to go in there and just relax and just read, and what I mean. They were the cross between Barnes and Noble, but they did it in like a really smart way. You know what I mean? I wish they would come back. I'm not gonna lie, but they kind of offset it to Amazon. Amazon took it the rest of the way. Kind of like Walmart, kind of like Target, kind of like others that use Amazon. But then when you go to the store and you look up, when they say we match pricing, and you look up that, then, the store employees go, yeah, but they do this or that. And I'm like, yeah, but, so especially when you have Prime and then you have free shipping, you have all that stuff. That's a good thing about Amazon. But what is Jeff doing with that money? Okay. Elon took that money, reinvested it, made Tesla. He actually did solar cells, by the way. He invested for solar cells. So everything he's done since PayPal has technically been to help the world. And sometimes people don't give him that credit. I say give him that credit, and then you'll understand everything else that he's becoming a part of to save the earth, okay? He's very much a thought leader, although he doesn't like to view himself as that. He is one, and he needs to continue doing that to help inspire people to find smart people that say, hey, we need to save humanity. At the rate that it's going, it's not going in the way that it should be, okay? Plus, he has fun stuff in his Tesla. I know some people knock the Tesla. I think he was a little ahead of it, but you got to start somewhere, right? Some people, you just have to educate them. Hey, you can't fall asleep at the wheel. It's still, it's assisted driving. If he would have said it's assisted driving, not fully autonomous, I think we would have less accidents. Does that make sense? It's assisted driving.
Yeah, I wish people would get that. Oh my, I saw this TikTok. This person made a bed in the back of their Tesla, set it for auto drive, and just took a nap.
I believe it. But, it's one of those things. We said it beforehand. I don't trust it 100%. I will trust it probably in the next, maybe, I want to say fully automated. We're not there yet. We will be there when everybody has a lane where all automated vehicles are driving in, because there's just too many factors that can go wrong. When sensors go off, and I've seen literally, and I've driven literally certain vehicles where the assisted lane driving pulls, and all of a sudden I'm like, why are you pulling when I'm in the lane, you dumb vehicle? And I have my hands on the wheel, and it's not even assisted driving. It's simply the lane, the one that keeps you in the lane. You guys have seen those in the newer vehicles. If you don't have a newer vehicle, you probably haven't seen it yet. But there's a turn off switch, thank God. But vehicle manufacturers have to get those sensors right because they're wrong right now. You'll appreciate it when you're in traffic and it suddenly applies the brakes if you're going too fast. Or if it alerts you, you go, whoa, I didn't know, right? Sometimes you go, come on, I know my gauge. But if I got distracted, I would want my vehicle to stop in order to not hit the one ahead of me or behind. I've had that happen in a parking lot, right? It all and then stops you. You go, why did it stop me? And you go, oh, shoot, I would have hit that person, right? Because they came from your blind side, right? So those sensors are good. They just need to be working 100%. And the lane assisted driving is not working in certain vehicles, not all vehicles. There are vehicles that make more sense and keeps you right in there. The Genesis, when I tried that vehicle, it was keep you right in the lane. I was like, oh, I love this. But as of late, when you drive at certain speeds and it pulls to the right and there's a parked car there, you got to be very attentive, okay? So Tesla, I feel, is there, but the people are not there, okay? Back to going to sleep. It's not called take a rest. Your car's going to drive for you the rest of the way. We're not there yet. Unless you have a lane assisted, like the carpool lane. I would reapply at some point when you have so many self-driving vehicles, and then people will want to buy it as well. Then it'll make sense, right? Because then it would do that. I wouldn't even trust it in the countryside yet because, you know, there's goats, there's things that could just jump out of nowhere. The sensors just are not there yet. When they get there, I think you start with the carpool lane. You do that. The carpool lane, I mean, think about it. That's how you got electric vehicles to be very popular because they gave electric vehicles kind of, even if you only had one person, boom, you were already in the carpool lane, right? So I think the carpool lane is kind of useful for that. And you say assisted driving vehicles only, and then they gauge each other because they kind of speak to one another saying, okay, I see you, I see you, I see you. We all go at the same rate of travel. And I would start with 30 miles per hour before you get to 80 miles per hour. We're not there yet, okay? Vehicles at 80, anything can happen, right? What if the tire goes, and blows? How does that affect all the other vehicles? You know what I mean? There's so many things that can go wrong all of a sudden. There's a attack on the road. You would have to have the type of wheels that self-inflate and don't have a blowout. Does that make sense? So there's so many little factors that can happen, including machinery, including, oil slicks, right? One drips oil, all of a sudden, and all of a sudden it crashes into the other vehicles. So there's so many things that can happen. That's why you would want to start and throttle at 30 and then go to 40, then go to 50, then go to 60, then go to 70, and then go to 80. And once you're at 80 and everybody's doing 80 at self-driving, then you could take a nap. But we're not there yet. And at the rate that we're going, we probably won't be there for another 5 years, technically. So that's just my opinion. That's my thought. You could disagree, but there you go. Okay, we're out of time, people. Make it a great day with whatever you do. Remember, life is worth living. Live it well. All right, and for the rest of you tuning in, thank you very much for tuning in. We appreciate you more than you know. Mark Blevins there tuning in. And again, Mark, I'm not here to I don't know what you think about Jeff personally. I personally think he's not making things work for us yet. I think he could take that money and reinvest it, and he doesn't have to go in the way of space, but there's so many technologies that need that type of money to go next level. And if he does it with the thought of growing it, I think he can make it make sense. As for the rest of us, I just want to know that we're all going to be ahead of everything that's coming. Now, I want to just take a moment with the rest of you that I'm not going to speak on the air, but I need you to be very understanding of. This world is going to be very cold, okay? And the reason it's going to be very cold is the science is already proving, if you do research on it, we are having a moment like the day after tomorrow, okay? I told my mom to watch The Day After Tomorrow recently. And I said, watch it with the view of the things that are currently happening. If you do research on any news story, basically I've done so many on YouTube because it's unfiltered news, you will see natural disasters taking off in a way that they really shouldn't. Okay, there's extreme weather in areas where there never have been extreme weather. It started with tornadoes in areas where they're like not getting tornadoes. It started with hail in areas where they never had hail, and major size balls of hail. It started with more what they call bomb cyclones, okay? or Genesis, right? Oh, what do they call it? I forgot, Genesis something. All of these are adding up for something big in the next 3 years, okay? With volcanoes spewing so much ash into the atmosphere and other minerals, there are certain things, especially the last one that happened. I did the research on it and spoke to 3 very smart people, and they all agree that we're having a cold season like never before. Now, here in Southern California, it's not as cold as the rest of the country, okay? But take Florida, for example. Never before has Florida been in such a bad way the way it is now. Now, I know winter seems, oh, yay, right? We're in February, people. Winter feels yay because, yay, snow. Yay, ice. Yay. Wait, what? We're not thinking of the future. And here's why I have to say this. We have to think of the future now. If we think of the future now, we'll understand coronavirus is here only for so long, okay? I predicted last year it would be here for 3 years, minimum. But people didn't want to hear that. Actually, no, I didn't predict it last year. I predicted it in, let's see. 2020, at the end of 2020. I said, what if we have it longer than what you think? And we went through all of 21. We had it longer than we thought. But I planned for 3 years, okay, from 2020. So that's when I said it was December 2020. You can look it up, the research. But my point in saying this is very important. Coronavirus will be gone, but we're still here with the Earth. Space will be here, okay? Thank you, Elon Musk. Thank you, JPL. Thank you, NASA. Thank you all for hopefully working together within the next 3 years. Moonfall is a good movie. It's like Day After Tomorrow. Day After Tomorrow is, in essence, what we're going through now. There's a moment in Day After Tomorrow, if you've already seen it, where there's a politician that goes, well, who's going to pay for it? We already had that. That was Trump. Pulled out of the Paris Climate Agreement, okay? Which basically, it states a lot. But it stated, in essence, we would all work together as a world to combat global warming, okay? Now, having said that, there's a lot of science about global warming, and some of it is not what you would think. The Day After Tomorrow got it right. The Day After Tomorrow accounts for something at the very beginning. A glacier breaks off into the ocean, okay? Now, this is where what you think is a movie of like science fiction is a movie of reality. If you do the research, you will find that there is a glacier that they are researching on the southern part of the Earth, which they're watching very closely. And if it breaks off, the water will rise anywhere from 3 feet to 4 feet. Okay? So in areas where you're at sea level, I would move inland. Okay? Don't be at sea level anymore. Be inland. Okay? Now, what they're accounting for is the southern tip. What they're unaccounting for are 2 on the northern tip. When those go in, water rises. Forget about melting. Okay? When glaciers, big body mass suddenly goes into the water, that creates a problem for the water. The water will rise. The water's already rising. It's been rising for quite some time. All right? Now, take that science and now the atmosphere. With the volcanoes spewing all the ash, spewing all the oxide, spewing all those things, the reflective surface of the atmosphere combined with more water rising is going to create a problem for all of us. Okay. Think northern of the world. Okay. Think that. You have a world, right? Northern already is cold. Southern is already cold. The equator is where the most sun gets, usually. Okay? Now, a wobble has been occurring over the last 3 years. Okay? The Earth has a wobble. There's a natural wobble, and then there's an unnatural wobble. Okay? When an unnatural wobble occurs, what happens to the inside of the Earth, known as magma? Why are we having so many volcanoes? The magma is violent inside due to the wobble. Now, scientists know wobbles occur naturally, but when they go to extremes, that creates a problem for the inside of the magma. Now, nobody understands magma like they should, but here it is. You have the core. You have the magma. You have the crust. What happens when the inside gets like that? The magma doesn't go in the natural way it should. It goes all over the place. Magma is meant to go in a natural way. That's what creates the Earth spinning in the majority of planets. Nobody thinks about that science, huh? As it rotates, the Earth rotates. As the Earth rotates, it spins. As the Earth spins, it has an orbit. But there are some things that do not have an inside magma, like the moon. That's why the moon is stationary. It does not spin. There's nothing in it to spin. Weird, right? So, take the science of the magma. Just think of it as unhappy. How are you going to make it happy? You have to hope it will be happy within the next 3 years. But if it is unhappy, here's where we're at. The volcanoes have already been erupting, so much so we have basically 48 confirmed volcanoes on this Earth. Now, I know a lot of people don't do this research, but if you look up volcanoes, you'll understand. When all of that is sent into the atmosphere, here's what we're going to have in the next 3 to 8 years. Colder temperatures. In the northern part, coming down the south. That is not good for crops. That is not good for stuff that you want to grow naturally. There are certain temperatures, certain fruits just do not do well in. Nuts do, thank God. But we depend on fruit. Now, vegetables, they're more resistant against climate change. Okay, thank God. So more vegetables, more vegetables, more vegetables. But fruit is needed for natural sugars. Fruit is needed for stuff to keep us alive. Fruit is needed around the world. Now, when fruit becomes less, what happens to the Earth's supply? Less, less, less. Now, you combine that with Monsanto. You combine that with other chemicals. You combine that with all the things that try to keep fruit alive, but really don't, because they have a limited supply, because they were modified organically, gene splicing and such, of fruit. That's why they don't last long. Now, I've spoken of this already, but here we go. If fruit does not last long, thanks to Monsanto and whatever they're going to rename their name as, because I guarantee they're going to get blowback within the next several months, the reality is Monsanto is basically making it so that these seeds only have a limited supply, so that the fruit that they grow from have a limited supply. That way, you continue to buy from Monsanto. They make it cheaper. The fruit is not as good. We've all seen that. Whenever you see the vegetables or fruit from Monsanto, more the fruit really than vegetables. They don't really do the vegetables. Sorry. The fruit actually is 100% And if you know organic versus other, you will see the prices as well. Usually, organic is like 10% more, and from 8 to 12% really, from other fruit from Monsanto. So at the end of the day, doesn't it make sense to pay the farmers that actually are out there doing the work to give us good fruit, natural fruit, organic fruit, rather than the modified fruit? Because it comes out weird. You see the bananas look weird. All of that is, yeah, cheap, but it tastes funny. It tastes weird. It tastes, Go with organic and it just tastes good. Test it on your palate. All right, get both. See if what I'm saying is true. All right, so go natural, and here's why. The cold front is coming, period, in the story. It's here already. But what I mean is this. We're going to have not a hot summer. Now, here in California, we have this weird little thing that kind of blocks us from the rest of the world. If you think of it, it's on this side. But the rest of the world is in this, it's almost like stuck in this cold front, coming north to south, back to the day after tomorrow. If you just look at the science of it, up to the halfway point, and forget the end part, because the end part is the extreme weather. Oh my God, everybody dies within 7 days, pretty much, right? 3 to 6 days, right? Everybody's like, everything freezes over like that. All right, okay. In the nor'easter, it's becoming like that, but not as extreme as the end of the day after tomorrow. Does that make sense? So, if you look at the science of it, the warning is there. Everybody thinks, global warming, but how come it's cold? Because the Earth has to readjust itself. The Earth has to readjust itself. The time it happened was Jurassic period. How did we get mammals all of a sudden? Well, they had to form in this way to survive. They had to grow their hair longer. They had to grow in certain ways. They had to. The saber-toothed tiger had to get hairier. Animals have a way of growing more hair, growing more things in order to combat everything else, which is hurting them, okay? Mammals have a way of surviving. We are mammals. Will we get hairier? Yes. Yeah, I want more hair. Women understand this with long hair. Oh, my hair, you know. But their neck gets hot, so they roll it up, put it in a ponytail in order for it not to get warm. But do you want a beard to keep your face warm in a cold front? Yes. You don't want that, right? Himalayans, right? Known for being hairy, right? There's a reason for that, okay? So we are going the way of the day after tomorrow towards the end, but not as quick. It doesn't happen in 4 to 6 days. It happens in 3 to 4 years of time. That's where we're at. Volcanic ash is something that nobody accounted for, especially this much, in such a short amount of time, being spewed into Earth's atmosphere. Scientists understand this. Geological do not understand this, but chemists understand this. If you have so much sulfur oxide in a Earth's atmosphere, mixed in with carbon, mixed in with a bunch of other things they don't even account for, you're going to have a reflective surface of the outer layer within the next 3 to 4 months at the rate that they're going. Science is there. It's been there. Smart people are knowing about it, but more smart people need to be ahead of it. In order to prepare for the cold that's coming, you have to think in this way. Bundle up, yes, but be ahead of it financially. When we have shortages of fruit, we have shortages. Oh, that's right. We got shortages everywhere. We got shortages of money. I've been saying this for quite some time. Hold on to the job that you have if it pays you well. Do not quit. I don't know why there's people quitting their jobs when they should have a job waiting for them. Food will be there for years to come. Nuts, things that you just figure out you manufacture in places. But prices are going to still go up because there's less of it, okay? There was a report on oranges, okay? Oranges do not do good. They do not do good in winter months, period, end of story. Florida is going to see a huge shortages of oranges because fruit needs at least, on average, 38 minimum. Ideal is 51. You keep that in an area, fruit can survive, okay? So here's what I would do. More indoors. You need more indoors. Outdoors is not going to last. You take the seeds, you move them indoors. You create indoor... there's so many ways to do it, but you bring them indoors. You do at least 50 degrees. Keep it like that. And grow indoor fruit from now on. Okay? Outdoors in these major extreme areas are not going to last. The crops just are not going to come out like like they want. You have to bring them indoors or build around it. If you have an area, build around it. But I think that's too much money, to be honest. I would take existing warehouses, move them all inside, and just have dirt on the inside, period, end of story. Okay? There's a lot of empty warehouses that can just be transformed into, well, fruit houses. You do that, you'll be ahead of it. That's what I think Amazon should invest in, technically. They have a Whole Foods as part of their supply. There's a way to do it. They have a lot of money to do it. They get with certain thought leaders. They can get ahead of it and keep the prices affordable for people. People need fruit. Florida is one of the biggest contributors to the orange fruit. Okay? But orange needs to survive. It's got all the nutrients in it to help you stay alive long term versus a bunch of stuff. People don't even understand that. Okay? Orange is important. Okay, vitamin C is just one component. People don't understand the magic of fruit. They have a lot of stuff that help you out with your body. So, you see how it all combines to help keep us alive? If you have food shortages, think differently, okay? And then you'll have everything. So there you go. All right, people, I'm out of time. Make it a good day. Remember, life is worth living. Live it well. Bye-bye, everyone.